It's when them boys used to run the place, boy.
Touching the squeeze about massive. Danville. Big talk. Suspect. Sky Juice, the big squeezer.
Who remember this one? Them time Addis used to run place, boy. That if you start to watch it all the way, boy. What?
I see them haters when them coming. Tell them we ain't running. In the center we standing, waiting to give the speed. 2004 we jamming, keep everybody rocking. The big tunes that we dropping, we not give you no ease. The sweetness all the way. Don't care what nobody say. I saw what this is stay. You better understand. And Juve on the road, we pushing heavy load. You sweet in your mind and soul. So come in on the jam. Why you want to stop me? And you know that you shouldn't try me. Say you must get squeezed. You must get squeezed. All the wicked massive them show me the squeeze upside them. Say you must get squeezed. You must get squeezed. Watch out on the road when we squeeze up some boy, make them run, baby. Squeeze them up. Squeeze them up. Squeeze them up. Squeeze them up. So the wicked massive tell me that you squeeze them, squeeze them. And the same and them tell me easy squeeze them, squeeze them, squeeze them up. Squeeze them up. Squeeze them up. Squeeze them up. Boy, don't run. You know you get the squeeze. Boy, don't run. You still can feel the squeeze. Squeeze them up. Squeeze them up.
Squeeze them up. Walk, walk, my friend. You remember the one you're my partner? Let's go!
I see them talking what them saying on me now. Yeah. They just arrived, the lyrics don't even sound clear. It's a new year when you go in with that rubbish. Go find a landfill, that's how you can put it. Go down, point down, go down. Slang is a slang. It's just the way how you deliver to the people. Them hear that now. Listen, my son, you never hear me singing nothing about no violence. And remember, you sing about martial arts and chanting saying beat them. Contradict yourself. You're not too smart. Cause in your song you still big up the top shot of them. Flow them, flow them, flow them, flow them lyrically. Flow them, flow them. Bad man fist up me got me see them on the side. Never try to take me straight.
Cameraman, you're good.
When them see me tell them why.
Up and running about 10,000 people.
Close, them just up and up. But tell them how this is every no mix and then we don't. Flow them, flow them, right. Flow them, from them Chinese and the same and me flow them. What about them? Flow them, I will say so. Flow them, them now. From them Chinese and the same and me say me see them from the side. Never try to take me straight. But anyway when them see me tell them why.
Boy, when them man they used to run things, you know, remember them time there, boy? Long time, boy. Once was. Them tell me partner over there, so I got to watch it, boy.
I knew that. I true that.
Now call no near me now. Back to back 3 road match. Damn for you.
I see them talking what them saying on me now. Yeah. They just arrived, the lyrics don't even sound clear. It's a new year when you go in with that rubbish. Go find a landfill, that's how you can put it. Go down, point down, go down. Slang is a slang. It's just the way how you deliver to the people.
Hey, somebody big up my friend Jawa, no?
Listen, my son.
Big up my big belly friend Jawa.
You're singing nothing about no violence. And remember, you sing about martial arts and chanting saying beat them. Contradict yourself. You're not too.
If them ultrasonics come from up by Swanee side,
The top shot again.
and they see I come from Tongue boy.
Flow them.
Which up there by Best Boy? Aye.
Flow them. Bad man fist up me got me see them from the side. Never try to take me straight. But anyway when them see me tell them why.
Oh, get up on a pole.
But tell them how this is every no mix and then we don't. Flow them. Flow them. Right. Flow them. From them Chinese and the same and me flow them. What about them? Flow them. I will say so. Flow them. Them now. From them Chinese and the same and me say me see them from the side. Never try to take me straight. But anyway when them see me tell them why. We feel a sheep clothes. Them just up on a boat. But tell them how this is every no deal with those. Flow them. Flow them. Yellow. Flow them.
That's true, boy. And count your cold on your finger, then, boy.
You go with
break down now.
Banos go hibernate again. Flow them, flow them, flow them.
There's a cultural armor this year, so we give you some cultural armor flashback. And this year.
This one for the real fans. Malik Kaka. Copy. Melissa, play you with the one, yeah.
Oh, Melissa too? All right. Jack and Jerry. This one follow behind the Odyssey hard too, you know.
This one is for the fans.
Whoa.
Really make me understand what it means to be a true champion. No, you didn't have to listen. No, you didn't have to show no love. But still, we're not too big to tell you fans them thanks. I continue to support your band. You're the best in the world, and we mean it straight from we heart. Say we hot like pepper, hot like pepper, hot like pepper. We hot. Them other bands are good with the style that we got. You hot like pepper, hot like pepper, hot like pepper. Hot. Is every year you turning up the sweetness a notch. Sometimes we feel like we just can't go apart. And your fans give me the energy. Whether we the in or we home or we the fans on. Me love the way how them a can't be with. Keep showing the love, keep it more and more. And the sea band, yeah, that is it. No, me know they're not gonna switch, not gonna tune it down.
Let's go.
I mean, yeah, the fans and them a say we not switch. What if on them say we not switch? What if on them say we not switch? What if on them say we not switch? I listen to the world, baby. What if on them say? I listen to the world.
I listen to the world. Cameraman, we still good.
Listen to the world. Roll the field. We not switch. What if on them say we not switch? What if on them say we not switch? What if on
Music up, still now.
switch? I listen to
All right.
the world, baby.
You hear that? I listen to the world. Boy, them time I used to spoil the session of my partner. Oh, this is so you start to watch it, you know.
Them want the sweetness. Them need the sweetness. And you see we in the building again. Jamming up the sweet rhythm again. The people wanna know how we do it again. They say we sweet like sugar and honey when they
They say we're gonna be starting in 6 3/4 minutes.
bend. Them other band they just can't comprehend. Tell them already, we go tell them again. A sweet
All who remember the one you're Trevor.
what sweet sensation. I love and this is sweet rhythm. My feet just got a moving. I just can't get enough of the Odyssey. Well, I put up a massive. Come in the jam, let me see you. Right there, right there, right there. See that? This sweet is there. Look at me. See that? This sweet is there. I'm in a big star. Pull up, squeeze a bar. Pull up, spin this beat. Pull up, them are still in them banners. See that?
Oh boy, you see how life be?
Them are
You see how life be?
them want the sweetness.
I talk about boy not gonna play out. No, them not gonna play out.
And you see we in the building again. Jamming up the sweet rhythm again.
Somebody tell me friend Jawa good night there, buddy.
Wait again.
Jawa.
Say we sweet like sugar and honey when they let it go. When it come to paper and defend, them other band they just can't comprehend.
Who remember this one?
Tell them again. A sweet, so no sing the anthem. Oh, what sweet sensation. I love
culture of music. Flashback.
I just can't get enough.
Hardy Odyssey.
Yes,
R.I.P. Little Lenny.
as long as you're proud and true black man, I want to see you jamming to this one.
Let's go. We're free. We're free.
We're free. We're free. Black people rise up. Look how long we in bondage. Now is the time to rise. We have the power to rise in unity. Separation's not wise. I hope you realize. Black people, my people, stand tall and strong. Black people.
Okay, DJ Cool, I got you. You know me, you live like family, you know. You are black man.
Sing for our freedom. Let's show together. Our freedom fighters.
Boss DJ.
Boss, the handbox, boss, the shambles.
My people.
We are free at last.
One more ultrasonic.
We all come together
There's
and
a plan to create hundreds of jobs for the people of Nevis 11 and the island of Nevis. These plans include the establishment of a state-of-the-art fisheries complex in Nevis 11 with FDA HACCP rating, which will allow the island to export its plentiful seafood and
boy. What me partner?
critics, whatever. Look at me, you large.
R.I.P. Little Lenny.
Massive in the place, baby.
R.I.P. Pony.
You know how we roll.
Let's go. 2.5 more minutes.
4 o'clock, the people up and waiting for the Jube Jam.
Are you me counting now, you know?
5 o'clock, the ultra band start blasting.
If you get me terrible, a pound, I'll start counting now. Hey!
10,000 strong, they jumping up and waving, swinging to the ultra beat.
Them time the culture man is just so sweet, boy.
As they all start chatting.
Boy!
Ultra band, you are so
Me
sweet.
partner member back in Alcana.
It's Jube morning, yeah.
2 more minutes flat.
And they sing.
Boy!
We wish this time and never end.
R.I.P. Little Lenny.
Ultra, you
R.I.P. Pony.
the streets again. All them other bands should know by now that they can't take.
1.5 minutes.
Jumping, sketching, touching all the other stuff.
My partner Ansi tonight, boy. Like he got some shots you on fire tonight, boy.
Flinging time.
My partner Ansi tonight, boy. You ready to go? Hey!
Now this is the job you've been waiting for. Everybody, swing you on. Swing you on. Swing you on. Again. No. People jamming around and they're begging for more. We
Remember them song there?
Swing on. Oi, what the need is massive jumping. Take it massive jamming. Everybody jumping in the back. I wanna see you come and swing on. To the left side, swing on. To the right side, swing on.
1 more minute.
Well, Lenny, I tell you already, and I'm not gonna tell you again. Rewind this thing in one, baby. Touching all them color code massive. Ultra. Number 1.
1 more minute and we're gone. Count in the US.
This is the way we
Count in the US.
ultimate session.
Count in the US.
Last every morning, nobody waving hands. I summon women and children jamming well organized. See women shove back party.
This is the time to tag your friend and your co-worker. And the first batch opening batsman ready. He done got on his pads.
Yes, we love to
He done got on his seed guard.
ball.
He got his bat in there, he had.
Join us.
He had big and ready, so he ain't want a helmet.
Bacchanal.
Boy!
But what amazes my eyes is when them women start.
Man say he batty with experience, so he don't want a helmet.
So all the men them who said
You
and
ready to rumble?
I want you to
Aye.
sing this with me.
Hey, boy!
I walk it on a body.
Oh, boy.
Let's put our hands together for DJ Woodis for keeping us busy during the last moments. Thank you, Woodis. It looks to me like you've already booked for the Victory Jam. Woodis, it looks to me as if you're booked for the Victory Jam, but that is for another conversation. Good evening to the good and great people of the Nevis Reformation Party. We are on the home stretch. We have one more day before we line up to vote for the candidates in the Nevis Reformation Party. So in number 9, we have Dr. Daly. Let me hear you. In number 10, we have Bjorn Hanley. And in number 11, we have Patrice Nisbet. So we have 3 candidates ready to take Nevis to a different level, ready to add new meaning to the federal process, ready to give new direction to Nevis from a federal level. Let us thank our candidates for getting down in the trenches. They have been working, and so let us put our hands together for them. Let us give a special round of applause to our young warriors from the Nevis Reformation Party, our youth arm members. Let us hear you for the Nevis youth arm. I believe they are somewhere around the country now because they have been going around Nevis with the message of peace, progress, and prosperity of the Nevis Reformation Party. Join me, of course, in welcoming our elected member, the Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons, who is here with us. Let us hear it for women power. Brothers and sisters, we have an important point to make in these elections. We have a few things to observe. That the vote is serious. It is only in 1952 we got the one man, one vote. And so on Friday morning, all those great men and women of the Nevis Reformation Party who struggled in 1970 to establish the NRP, let us give them a round of applause. It is true, and it is really true, that we are standing on the shoulders of all of these great men. And so, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, every time we get a chance to vote, we in the Nevis Reformation Party must go out to vote. Carry your brothers, carry your sisters, encourage your friends and family to go and vote for the Nevis Reformation Party. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I notice that we in the Nevis Reformation Party have over the years tended to say that we are not going to vote is okay. No, it is not okay. I want all of you to go out to vote. Go out to vote, exercise exercise your franchise. I tell you this much, ladies and gentlemen. China has the world's second largest economy, but the people don't vote. There is no one man, one vote in China. Bear that in mind. The world's second largest economy doesn't have one man, one vote. So let us treasure that opportunity to vote. And the second point I make on the vote is this. As I go around the country and as I go up and down the constituency number 9, I hear that money is being used to do two things to us in the NRP. Pay people to stay home and pay people to vote against us. When we reach the stage that a governing party has to pay you to vote, it is an indication of failure on the part of the government. You agree with me? When we are in government, in the Nevis Reformation Party, we say vote for us because we develop programs in education, programs in training, we put people to work, and we modernize health services. We say vote for us based on our record. So I want you to understand with me, if you are in the government and you're offering people money to vote, it is an admission of failure. Agreed? Agreed? No, I don't hear you loud enough. Do you agree with that? Yes. When you have no record, you have to resort to buying the vote. Brothers and sisters, this vote is too precious to be bought. Think of the generations of black people who suffered in these islands just to get the vote. Just to get the vote. And so, brothers and sisters, it is important to treasure this opportunity to go to the polls to vote, and it's not to be sold. I am worried, brothers and sisters, that the system has gone now from one man, one vote, to $1, one vote. And it is not $1, it is plenty dollars. And so, brothers and sisters, I hear today now as I go through the constituencies that they're saying to people, look, this is not about elections now. This is business. I give you $500 or I give you $5,000 and don't call me again for the next 5 years. Okay? You pay me and that's it. Story done. Story done. So, brothers and sisters, encourage especially our young people to go out to vote, because I think all of the candidates have laid out for you very clearly the programs and projects that they will bring to Nevis. Do you agree with me? Yes. You can pick up the manifesto, you can listen to all the talk shows, and you will recognize that the members of the team have put forward their programs. So, brothers and sisters, I have done some calculations on this money thing. Let us assume you get $1,000 for somebody you elected 5 years ago. Let us assume that. You have 60 months. So that's 12 fives are 60. Divide $1,000 by 60, and how much money you get per month? 1,000 by 60. Huh? $16. $16 a month. Divide $1,000 by 60. So give you $1,000 tomorrow and tell you this is what you get for the next 5 years. So the politicians, they pay you $16 a month to be able to vote. Brothers and sisters, I am particularly pleased though, as I move through the constituency today and yesterday. Kelvin Daly and I were in the constituency yesterday. Today we are there every day. And you know what is interesting? And I want you to give them a round of applause. We had the voters list with us. And we went to some houses. And here one woman, Kelvin, I said, let me see where your name is on the list. 720. That's my name. They don't check it. So you know what I want you all to do? Go check it. Go check where your name is. We went by another house, and the lady said, 146. 146? She done check it out. So you know where your name is. So come Friday morning, those people are ready to rumble with the Nevis Reformation Party. That is what is interesting. That is how we beat back. That is how we beat back the tempo to corrupt the system. Went by another house this afternoon, and the lady says to me, 340, 341, 342, 343. Daniel, them 4 years, them 4 years, these are yours. 341, tell daily, these are he. 341, 342, 343, 344. People are ready. Are you ready? People are ready because we have laid out the programs and plans for the party, and the people are ready to take their decisions to the Nevis Reformation Party. They are prepared to make those decisions because, brothers and sisters, they are satisfied that they have listened, they have heard, and they have digested. I'll tell you further. We went in the top of the constituency 9, and one man says to Kelvin, look, I hear you talk about the business incubation. Give me further explanation. What do you mean by that? Because as far as I know, incubation is about chicken and so. Let me hear what you mean by business incubation. You know what that is telling us, brothers and sisters? That the people are listening. That the people are listening. We went down further now in the Spanish community. So here the Spanish woman now, as we speak, here the Spanish woman may go style programa de la casa. So I say yes, yes. You know what that means? I like the housing program you put up. You understand? So the Spanish people are listening, so we are able to talk to them about it, and I say to Daly, explain to them. People are listening. One woman who has a child in university says, oh, long time I want to see you. You say you're going to take off 50% off the debt. Well, I had misplaced my card, but I done went down there to get a new one. I want half of the debt come off when my daughter come back. She coming back next year. So I sending you down, St. Kitts, come Friday morning, because I want half the debt come off. You understand? So the people are listening. And what you notice what we're doing? We are selling ideas, brothers and sisters. Why we are selling those ideas? Every time we get the chance to be in government, we perform for you, the people of the country. You remember what we used to say about performance? No, I don't. What we used to say about performance? Okay. You understand? So, as we move through the constituencies, we are finding that people are saying they are agreeing and they want to see the development. We were at the end of Bath this afternoon, and the young man says, Daly, look some land over there. Let me get started now. So what do you mean? We could get started tomorrow? So Daly said, man, yeah, if the people want. The idea is private and public partnerships. So the young people are saying, and this young man has a business, and he says, we could get some of the land over there, man. Too much cushion in the place. Let us clean it down and have some development. And of course, the program for housing development in Bath resonates with him. He's interested in that. The point I'm making, brothers and sisters, is that we in the Nevis Reformation Party are selling ideas. And we are sending our representative to St. Kitts to be able to ensure that those ideas are brought to fruition. Now, brothers and sisters, there is the question of 2 salaries. I am amazed that that could even become a discussion point. For all of us who go to church and go regularly, do we not hear that no man can serve 2 masters at the same time? Have you not heard it? So how could we send the same person to be in the government in Nevis and the government in St. Kitts. I was listening to Kelvin on the Van Radio program earlier. And imagine the host is saying that all the ministers before got 2 salaries at the same time. And you know who called in to put the record straight? The former Premier Joseph Parry called in and said, look, we never got 2 salaries. We simply took the higher of the 2 salaries. And you know what he says? Several people are alive. They can attest to it.
The NRP's Patrice Nisbet has a plan to create hundreds of jobs for the people of Nevis 11 and the island of Nevis. These plans include the establishment of a state-of-the-art fisheries complex in Nevis 11 with FDA HACCP rating, which will allow the island to export its plentiful seafood and seafood products. He also intends to revitalize the Newcastle Airport, which will include the establishment of a fixed base operation, which will stimulate a myriad of opportunities with the creation of an aviation academy, aviation-related services, VIP and concierge services and restaurants. Creative entrepreneurs will also be provided support to establish new businesses in a revitalized Nevis 11. Vote for new jobs. Vote for Patrice Nisbet. In 2014, after 27 years of independence, Patrice Nisbet was given the opportunity as Minister of Labour to enact long service gratuity legislation, which would finally protect vulnerable hospitality and manufacturing industry workers, who often found themselves financially helpless and exposed in retirement after rendering decades of service to their employers. Vote for a representative who cares. Vote for the NRP's Patrice Nisbet.
My responsibility was in charge of all the food and beverage service at Nisbet Plantation, and I did that for 28 years. I resigned from Nisbet Plantation in 2017, and I was very grateful, very, very grateful for the Honorable Patrice Nisbet, who was the Minister of Labour in the Federal Administration in St. Kitts, Nevis, put in place the long service gratuity. So when I resigned, I was grateful that I get 1 year payment for my service, for my time spent at Nisbet Plantation.
Everybody, listen very good. You are listening to the ecstasy sound. It's very bad. Hi!
Sidewalk. We had a little time, so we had a small chat. He said, King, I hear you back in the bull ring. Yes, but so many topics I don't know on what I should sing. He said, the recent political mischief that polluted me fair country, upsetting the nation for the plan for united and free country. If you don't find that's a good topic, man, you really disappoint me. Politics, this is good social commentary. Tell me who's swing, good times coming again. strain, oh strain, oh strain. Better must come again. I'm a man of faith, they cannot frustrate. That is what keep me going on. Because the dark is hour does come just before dawn. So let me sing aloud. Every dark cloud has a silver lining.
All right. We're going to shower the blessings, boy.
Yeah, man.
God's in the midst of everything. A little shower of blessing. Oh. There we go.
Get it. God is good.
All the time. Hold strain, boy, Hensley. Hold strain, boy.
So, that's come and gone. A good friend of mine stopped me on the sidewalk. We had a little time, so we had a small talk. He said, King, I hear you back in the bull ring.
So as the cameraman and the songs man start out the self.
Oh, and what I should see.
Bless the music, man.
He said the recent political mischief that polluted me fair country, upsetting the nation, father plan for united and free country. If you don't find that's a good topic, man, you really disappoint me.
Little cherry myself. Pick up
This is
myself.
good social commentary. Tell me, oh straight, oh straight. Good times coming again.
Hold straight, man.
Oh straight, oh straight, oh straight. Better must come again. I'm a man of faith, they cannot frustrate. That is what keep me going on. Because the dark is hour does come just before dawn. So let me sing aloud. Every dark cloud has a silver lining. Every get up off the tail, we can't afford the face of the finger pointing. The people scope, they give us the vote. Now the good times keep rolling on. Because the dark is hour does come just before dawn. I said the dark is hour, the dark is gone. The dark is hour does come just before dawn. I said the dark is hour, the dark is hour, the dark is hour does come just before dawn. Food in the kitchen, food on the table. I lying home in me bed, man I will want to rest me head, but I hear it. Neighbor and she sweet man, like they having big confusion, so I listen in. I hear when the woman said, for too long now I'm frustrated. Every time you come to bed, is one bam you fall down dead. Bam 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 you fall down dead. Bam 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 you fall down dead. Fall down dead. Fall down dead. Fall down dead. Hey, hey, long time you ain't take me out. Long time you ain't walk me out.
Who you be?
Like Lon and Mikey Slack. All you do, you're full of chat.
What's you want?
And take me down Sandala. Give me the lele. And when the music's over, give me the lele. Let's go down to this bit. Give me the lele. I want you to ram it until 4 days. Give me the lele. Oh, rough me up. Rough me up. Rough me up. Rough me up. Then let's go Indian Castle. Give me the lele. Down in them horse table. Give me the lele. Then take me down Lover's Lane. Give me the lele. I want you to kill me with that sweet pain. Give me the lele. Rough me up in the bedroom. Rough me up in the bathroom. Rough me up in the backyard. Rough me up in the front yard. Long time me ain't get no loving. Long time. Time you in the bed, you're sleeping.
Thank you very much, DJ Woodis. Thank you very much. We had a short break for a bit of a blessing from above. Brothers and sisters, we are ready. We have one day before we roll to the polls. And as I have said repeatedly, don't go to vote alone. Take somebody with you. Carry your friends, carry your neighbors, carry all of your family members, and put the votes for candidates in 9, 10, and 11. I also said to you, make sure that you know where you are voting. We got the information unusually late. But make sure you know where you're voting. Check your box captains. Check your candidates. And make sure you are ready to rumble with us. We have a full lineup this evening, and I see the party leader somewhere. He get out of quarantine. Mr. Hector, welcome. We have a full team this evening, and in the context of how we roll, we say ladies first. And so I am going to invite the Honorable Cleone Stapleton Simmons to address you. Let us bring the first woman elected by the Nevis Reformation Party to speak to you. Give her a round of applause. Brothers and sisters, we started on a roll, and they have this thing on the 5th. The 5th of March, we send Cleone to Parliament. The 5th of June, we will send some others to Parliament. They like to choose the 5th, well, we will fix them on the 5th. You hear me? The 5th of March, we send Cleone, and we are going to send the others on the 5th of June. And brothers and sisters, we are serious. We want every single man and woman to come down like a mighty army and rumble with the Nevis Reformation Party. Brothers and sisters, I am going to invite Sister Cleone Stapleton Simmons, the Honorable Cleone Stapleton Simmons, to do what some of our warriors, 2 of our warriors, one has passed and one is here. I am going to ask them first to do what the late Lesroy Powell will say. Tell them. I am going to invite the Honorable Stapleton Simmons to tell them. Like Dabby would say, tell them. And I am also going to do it in the spirit of Sarah, to invite Sister Simmons to come and do like Sarah would say, Lego your mouth. You remember those days? So, without much further ado, I am going to invite our first elected female parliamentarian in the 50th year of the Nevis Reformation Party to come and address us. Sister Simmons.
Woman of excellence, arise. Woman of purpose, shake off the dust. Woman of destiny, forgetting the past. Praying woman, warring woman.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, NRP people. We are on the final lap. Good evening to all those joining us via the internet. NRP is ready to transform Nevis. Visionary leadership. This evening, my word of choice is inspire. And inspire means the ability or the urge to feel or do something. And so, this evening, I wish to bring you a story with the hope this story would inspire you to go to the polls on June 5th and to vote for the Nevis Reformation Party candidates. And so I want you to bear with me as I tell you a story of a little girl who is from Cotton Ground. And so, in 1983, this little girl was born to her parents, Vienna Stapleton and Ashley Nisbet. And at just 2 months, her mother, Vienna Stapleton, untimely departed this earth. And so she was raised by her grandmother, the late Eulalie Moore Liebert, affectionately known as Auntie Yule, a stalwart of Cotton Ground and St. Thomas's. She attended the St. Thomas's Primary School and was later educated at the Charlestown Secondary School. She came from very, very humble and modest beginnings. Just like most of you, the young people of Nevis. Nothing fancy, nothing too eloquent, just an average girl. But she was inspired, and inspired by ordinary persons within her community, her friends, her family, and loved ones. But most importantly, someone looked upon her and was able to inspire her to make a difference because they saw within her the ability to do something great. And I recall at the very tender age of perhaps 19, the Honorable Joseph Parry, one evening, by virtue of a telephone call, called this young lady, and he said, "What is your intention? What do you want to do with your future?" And I recall this young lady said, very enthusiastically, "I would like to become an attorney." And he said, "Okay, so how do you plan to achieve that?" I recall saying, "I don't know." He said, "Okay, well, do you intend to go to university?" I said, "I would like to." And he said, "Where?" I said, "In England." I believe, if I am recollecting well, he said, "Why England?" I said, "I don't know. I just don't want to go to the Caribbean." And that was the honest truth. And so, Mr. Parry and his administration in 2006 made the necessary plans for this young, ordinary, average, modest girl from Cotton Ground to fulfill her dreams. And I am here to say to all of you, particularly the young people of Nevis, listening to my voice, that it is important to be inspired, and it is also important to inspire others. And as I continue the story, the plans were successful. I departed, I went to England, I studied, I achieved, and today I am a practicing attorney. But I want to say to you that I am a product of the Nevis Reformation Party. And I am a perfect example of where we can reach in this country if we take the opportunity to care and to inspire and to ensure that we put the necessary policies and plans, visionary plans in place to look after the young people of Nevis. And as I continue the story, I am not only a practicing attorney, I am also a banker. I work full-time in a bank. I am also a mother, a wife, and most importantly, I am a woman. And so this evening, as I address you, I want you to know that my story was one of many challenges. Remember, I told you I am just an ordinary girl, one who lost her mother at a very, very young age, being a baby. And so I want to say to all of the young people this evening, I know many of you have dreams. Many of you have aspiration. Many of you have urges, abilities. You are inspired by someone. Some of you may be inspired by Barack Obama. Some of you, perhaps, by Bill Gates. Some of you, perhaps, by Jay-Z. Whatever inspires you, or whoever, the fact remains that each one of us here this evening have desires, heartfelt desires, goals and objectives that we want to achieve. And for some of us, the reality of achieving those dreams and objectives may be very far-fetched. Many of you, in this period of COVID-19, and particularly in this very tough economic circumstances, I know many of your dreams and aspirations are blurred. Some of you are wondering, how would I be able to go to university? How would I be able to find a job? Those of you who are working, some of you are wondering, would I be able to continue working up until December? There is an inherent fear in many of us. But I want to say to you that I want you to be inspired. Be inspired by my story and be inspired and also find comfort and solace in the fact that the Nevis Reformation Party is here at your rescue. And so this evening, I want to talk to you about our Operation Rescue Plan. Because indeed, my dear people, we are coming to you not with empty rhetoric, not with empty rhetoric and propaganda. We are not here to fool you. I am standing here as a product of the Nevis Reformation Party. NRP did it for me, and surely NRP can do it for you. Yes, they will indeed do it for you. So I said to you, have no fear. I want you to join us in partnership, because the candidates of the Nevis Reformation Party have presented themselves as your partners. They are here ready and willing to listen. They are ready to make the change, and they are ready to serve you. So we all know what partners do. Partners look out for each other because they have a vested interest. And the interest is a very simple interest. You help me, and I help you, and we help each other. And so that is the message That is the message that I want. The youths of Nevis, the young people, the young professionals, those of you who are thirsty for change, those of you who want to see something different. I, this evening, Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons, I want to be a source of inspiration for you. And I want to say to you that if you just work with us, give us a chance. We have outlined and presented you with a very solid manifesto. A manifesto detailing our visionary plans, not only to serve the people of Nevis, but it is our aim and our objective to uplift you and advance you, the people of Nevis and residents of Nevis. So as I go through, I want to remind you that every one of you can be successful. The sky is the limit. There is no goal too hard for you to achieve. However, you must, and I dare say, you must elect representatives who are going to look out for your best interests. You must elect people who can inspire you to be great, inspire you to be good, inspire you to be better, inspire you to be able to make a solid contribution to your Nevisian society. And so, I said to you, my dear people, that the three gentlemen, they come from very humble beginnings, humble roots. They are people person. They are, and if I stand to be corrected if it is not so, but I do believe it is so, they are businessmen. All of them are self-employed. And so, in number 9, you have Dr. Daly. Dr. Daly is a man who has made a lifetime commitment to investing in his country. He has been a teacher for a number of years. Many of you know him. And he's also an astute businessman, a farmer, someone who invested in themselves, invested in his education, simply because he was inspired. I don't know per se who inspired him, but surely if he is a doctor, then he must have been inspired by someone. Perhaps it was his mother, maybe his father, maybe it was just his sheer self-motivation. Papa said maybe it's him. So my dear people, when I look at Bjorn Hanley, this is a young man who must have been inspired. And it is clear because he too took the time out to invest in his education. And my dear people, what amazes me most about this young man is that he was inspired enough to bring himself and present himself to you, the people of Nevis, to serve you. And so, my dear people, here you have a young man who is inspired. He's a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. He has his own business. And so, remember I told you the success story. We are looking at people who come from very humble and modest beginnings and who would have been inspired at some point during their lifetime and who are now putting themselves up so that they can inspire you. But they are not just staying there. They also want to help you, the young people of Nevis, to achieve your goals and aspirations. And I come to the candidate for Nevis 11, Honorable Patrice Nisbet. And I want to take some time out to speak about Patrice. I fully endorse Patrice. And when I look at his story, a young man from Newcastle, again, coming from very humble and modest beginnings. But he had a dream. He too must have been inspired by someone. Perhaps his mother, perhaps an uncle, perhaps a friend, perhaps a teacher. I don't know his personal story, but I know from the path that he took that he must have been inspired. Because he's an attorney, he's a businessman, he is self-employed, he has been your representative for the past 20 years. He's a hard-working man and someone who truly cares about advancing the life of people. And so, I said to you, my dear people, that we have presented you with a full team, a team of people who have been inspired and who, so their inspiration, are now putting themselves forward in order to inspire you, to give you the urge, the ability to ensure that you are able to fulfill your goals. And so to the young people hearing my voice this evening, I know many of you, some of you have dreams of becoming an app developer. Many of you are interested in technology, and NRP has promised in their manifesto, they have outlined a number of initiatives. And so, my dear people who are self-employed in Nevis, you all know the struggles. I was inspired today by a story of what I would say a very strong and prominent woman in society. And she was telling me her story when she owned a business here in Nevis. And her business eventually closed. And she was giving me some of the stories of the hardships that she went through here in this island. Because some of us have been so entrenched with what I would coin as a level of bad mind. We Nevigians, we have to learn to inspire each other and to be inspired. I find that is lacking. And you are not getting those type of messages from your current leadership. No. Their only means of inspiring you is to enable you to partake in propaganda. They are so materialistic, too materialistic, that they do not have the necessary compassion. Compassion is what we need in order to take Nevis forward. Because, my dear people, in order for us to be able to overcome this economic plight post-COVID-19, we have to learn to love each other, to forgive each other, and to inspire each other. So this evening, I said to you, my dear people, those of you who are listening to me, this is not about show. It is not about being fancy. It is not about putting on a very nice, expensive suit. It is not about who can use the biggest words or who can articulate the most. It is not about who is better looking. It is not about the size of the house that you live in. It is not about the type of vehicle that you drive. It is about the way forward for Nivisions and Nivision residents. And so, my dear people, I am here to tell you that there is hope. There is hope in the Nevis Reformation Party because we have been and will continue to be the party that seek to advance the people of Nevis. And so, my dear people, I wish to now outline some of our initiatives as we go forward to the June 5th election. Some of you want to sell a little property. Many of you, older parents, you want to transfer a little piece of land to your children. Just last week, I had a case of an elderly lady who wants to transfer a piece of her property to her grandchildren. And when I look at the stamp duty that lady, who is perhaps in her 80s, not working, I am not even sure if she's earning a pension. But when I look at the value of the stamp duty that this government hit that old, elderly person with, I had to say as the attorney, my God, where is the compassion? Where is the compassion? Why can't we in this country design packages that would meet the pockets of our people? Why should there be a 10% stamp duty across the board, regardless of your personal or economic circumstances? And so, the Nevis Reformation Party have made an assessment, and we have said that the stamp duty to transfer property, particularly domestic property, that it is too high. It is too high in this Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And so NRP has presented you with a plan, a sound plan. And what they are saying to you, my dear friends, that once you elect the NRP candidates to go to the federal parliament, and I stand to be corrected, when you elect them on June 5th, that you will see, my dear people, a reduction of the stamp duty from 10% to 5%. My dear people, you know how much money that can save some of us? It's a saving. NRP did not just say there. My dear people, when you go to the supermarket, some of us can't even afford to buy food. The VAT is killing us. 17% VAT, it is killing us. And here, my colleagues have presented you with a plan, a sound plan to reduce the VAT in St. Kitts and Nevis to 11%. And so again, the initiative, my dear people, is always to inspire you and to help you to save. NRP cares about the economic stability of this country. We care about the welfare of our dear people. And so I said to you, my friends, my family, as you go about making your decision this evening, and some of you are pondering, who should I vote for? I want to say to you, do not make these elections personal. I want you to choose and put country above self. Do not look at what the government can do for you individually. Because like I said, if we learn to inspire each other, we can do great things together. And so, my dear people, I want to say to you that there is hope. I feel your pain, many of you pain. Some of you are too shy. You are too shy to advocate, to speak about the economic hardship in this country. The government, that is a topic that they have been silent about. To date, the federal government has not released the IMF report. Why is that, my dear people? What is the state of affairs in this country? And so these are considerations that you must take forward. And I do not want you to look at the candidates. I want you to look collectively at the party itself. And I want you to make an assessment as to which party has presented you with the best plan to move Nevis forward and to transform Nevis. And I am sure, my dear people, that without a shadow of a doubt, that you would agree with me that that has to be the Nevis Reformation Party. And we are not just stopping there, my people. I can continue. Dr. Daly has presented us with a genius plan. It is indeed genius because here in Nevis, for 7 years, 8 years, perhaps we're going on the 9th year now, we have elected a government and selected a premier who cannot even come up with not even an ounce of initiative to design any plan that can move the people of Nevis forward. And so I want to say to you, my dear people, do not be fooled. Do not be fooled by those who are coming and saying, oh, we come with clean hands. Because they don't. But they also come with empty minds. Empty minds, empty vessels. They have no sound plans for you, the people of Nevis. So when you make your assessment, as you go through these elections, I am pleading with you. As a product of NRP, as a mother with 2 young children, I am pleading with you. Do not make the same mistakes that you have made in the past. I want to encourage you to take these elections seriously. It is not just about money in your pockets. It is not just about buying a round of drinks or a case of beer. I understand some people from the other side were in Bandsco today promising. Note I say promising, not even buying, promising people drinks and promising people party. And that is the level of thinking. That is the level of leadership that we have in this country. This is what we have been reduced to. And so I said to you, my dear people, that I do believe that there is hope. There is hope to rescue Nevis. And for those of you who are patriotic, those of you who still love your country, I want you on June 5th to ensure that you do the right thing. I want you to come out in your numbers, to be inspired by greatness, be inspired by success, be inspired by hard work, be inspired by decency. And I want you to go to the polls, and I want you to put your X neatly and nicely without touching any of the lines next to the bottle. And so, my dear people, as I leave you this evening, I want you to remember that NRP is a visionary party. It is a party that puts people first. And it does not just leave it there. because my colleagues like to say, the people on the other side, sorry, like to say, that we put people first and they leave it there. And then they forget, my dear people, about the performance. It is not enough to say that you have people interest at heart and you leave it there. You must show them action, my dear people. Action speaks louder than words. And so it doesn't matter how you articulate it. It doesn't matter what words you use. You could even say it in Spanish. If the action is not behind the words, then, my dear people, I want to say to you that you are being fooled. You are being fooled by empty rhetoric. And so, I want you as a people to rise up. It is time for you to take control. Take back control of your country, of your nation. It is time for us to move Nevis forward and to secure a more progressive future for our children and young people. So on June 5th, I want you to ensure that you go out in your numbers. Go out very early. And I want you to elect the candidates of the Nevis Reformation Party to serve you in the federal cabinet. I bid you farewell, my dear people, and I love you.
Come, my people, come on, get around everybody. Come on, yeah. Let me tell you about the visions of NRP. Visionary, we are visionary. Visionary, we are visionary. Visionary, we are visionary. Visionary, we are visionary.
Have you been inspired? Have you been inspired? Certainly, brothers and sisters, Cleon sound like she just come to politics, or she sound like she here a long time. I find we have a lot of latent talent. Sound like she here a long time. So give her a round of applause. And remember, we are to inspire one another, to lift each other up. And we are to inspire people to vote for the Nevis Reformation Party. We, brothers and sisters, when we say that we are into training and education, we are serious about that. The evidence is there. The evidence is there. Imagine in the last government of the NRP, during a recession, 251 people after university and college. Brothers and sisters, this is the serious party. This is the party of education and training. And so we are inspired by Sister Cleon. And other young women across the country can know that there is room in the Nevis Reformation Party for them. And so we say, bring them in, because we have work for them to do. Certainly, brothers and sisters, I think Sister Cleon would agree with us that the young people in the country have been inspired. The kind of energy they have, we call them, we don't have to call them. They tell us in the morning early, they say, where are we going today? Where are we going today? On Monday morning, public holiday, they are in the constituency in St. Thomas, knocking on doors, telling people, vote for the Nevis Reformation Party. They are inspired. Thank you very much, Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons. Well, the next man is a fella. I think I have to remember this all the time. This fellow from Gingerland named Bjorn Hanley. He made 1 point to me, which 1 point, and I have to remember this as long as I live. Bjorn Hanley said, there is a fellow who running against him in Gingerland. Bjorn Hanley said he spent 32 years in the Ministry of Agriculture. And Bjorn Hanley said if you go up Gingerland, you don't even find a banana tree that the fellow plant. That stuck with me. And Honorable Cleon, that inspired me to vote for Beyond. When I hear not even a banana tree, and you know, my father was from Rollins, so you know what I do, Beyond? I drive up there, you know? I drive up there the other day to see if I find any banana tree. Not one I find. So I still figuring out in the 30-something years in the ministry, Mr. Hector work in agriculture and Dr. Daly work in agriculture. But I believe them fellows have a lot of different trees they plant. You believe me? Yes. But this fellow, Beyonce, I don't know where the tree, if he got any. But all I know is that when I heard Beyonce, so I went up there to look, and I don't see any. I didn't look everywhere, so I don't know. I don't know. However, Beyonce says that Beyond mentioned 4 things that are closed in Gingerland. Beyonce, public market, closed. Old Manor Hotel, closed. Health center, closed. Public library, closed. And I tried 2 more from Beyond. Mountain Rockers Netball Club from Gingerland. Patsy, remember that? Yeah, I played for them. It closed. Forerunners Cricket Club from out of Rollins, closed. So there's 6 things closed in Rollins, in Gingerland. So we have a man now, I find Beyond has the hardest work. Beyond has to go up there and go open everything. Beyond has the hardest work. Every other place, the difference with the rest place, they don't do nothing. They don't do nothing in the other constituencies. So Kelvin and Patrice can go along, go do things. But Lord, Beyond now has to go open up all these things. I find Beyond has a lot of work to do, but hear the thing. Beyond looks strong like a lion. You agree with me? Yes. Beyond looks strong and robust and ready. So I'm going to call him now, despite the fact that he has all these things to open. I am going to call Beyond to see how you could open some of these things in Gingerland. Let's give him a rousing round of applause.
Never let your problems get you down. Stay focused and hold your ground. Because what don't kill you should make you stronger. I feel like hope. Move any mountain, trample any.
Good evening, my friends. Now I'm going to give you a little story about myself and Cleon, and you can put the puzzle together. I remember one Saturday, I was in England studying, and I was at a KFC. And then so I looked, and I heard somebody call me. Then I looked back. It was Cleon. Yeah, she was studying in England at the same time as me. England has 63 million people. What are the chances of that happening? And now, fast forward to now, we are here on the same platform. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Hensley said a very important thing tonight. There are a number of facilities in Gingerland that are closed. The Gingerland Public Market closed. The Gingerland Health Center closed. The Gingerland Public Market, which I just said, closed. The Gingerland Library, closed. Old Manor Hotel, closed. Zetlands, closed. Horse racing track, closed. Everything is closed. So that is why I am proposing, I have a serious plan here, a comprehensive plan. This is what a plan looks like. Because to date, with 1 day to go in this election, the CCM candidate and the CCM party has not delivered a single plan. They are not promising anything. They are not promising anything. All they want, this is a case of 3 men looking a second job. That is all they want to go to sink it for, to look another job. We in the Nevis Reformation Party, we would have created a comprehensive plan
to create jobs, to help small businesses, and to enhance the lives of the people. This is a people's plan. Our plan is meant to help people. Create jobs, put money in your pocket, help you. Now, my plan in Gingerland is simple. It is a jobs, 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 and more jobs plan. My first order of the day comes Saturday when I'm elected into office as the next federal minister responsible for constituency number 10, Gingerland. I will establish a constituency office in Gingerland for the first time in history. Imagine that. For the first time in history. We must remember, for 5 years, almost 5 years, we had 2 sitting ministers of government responsible for Gingerland at the same time. One in St. Kitts and one in Nevis. Not even a constituency office they would have opened in Gingerland. They would have created 0 jobs for the good people of Gingerland. 2 ministers of the same party. Do you remember that? Have you ever seen that happen before? 2 sitting ministers in one constituency of the same party. One elected in the federal government and one elected in the local Nevis Island administration. And still didn't do anything. And all the facilities in Gingerland remain closed. Not even lights at the Hard Times playing field the current representative would have be able to deliver. He is minister responsible for sports. And I am told that he said lights are too expensive to put on a playing field in Gingerland. Exactly. We must remember, so he's all about entertainment. Anything to do with entertainment, he's there. He would have said that he would have showed leadership skills by leading masquerade at Carrie Festa. That anybody in Gingerland could do that. We need a minister that would create jobs and help the good people of Gingerland. Now, the CCM candidate, my opponent, has a long record in office. The choice is clear. Myself, Beyond Hanley of the NRP, or the CCM candidate. The choice is clear because the CCM candidate for constituency number 10, he would have served already for some 32 long years in agriculture. What has he done in agriculture in Gingerland? He would have done nothing. What farm do you see that he would have created in Gingerland? As I said the other night, he couldn't even plant a banana tree in Gingerland as permanent secretary of agriculture for almost 5 years. That is the man's record. 32 long years in agriculture, and we saw a lot of talking, a lot of entertainment, a lot of dancing as well, and 0 jobs. Farming saw a decline under his watch. That is a record, a 32-year record. So he has a record that we could judge. No, he would have served almost 5 years as a minister responsible for sports and social services. Look at the state of the playing fields in Gingerland. There's no lights. There are many single mothers. As I go house to house, there are many single mothers that are unemployed at this time. They are not getting any stimulus package. That falls under social services, you know. He is a minister responsible for social services. So that is another record as well. And now, he would have said that he would leave the residents of Gingerland and Nevis jobless after the next election. Now, so he's asking for the good people of Gingerland to send him to St. Kitts for a second job, but he's saying he's going to leave you jobless. Is that a representative you can trust? Can't trust somebody like that. And who is he referring to as donkeys, who he hopes doesn't have any voter ID? That is an insult to the good people of Gingerland. After they would have showed confidence in him and elected him into office, and now he's going back and he's asking for another job. We in the Nevis Reformation Party, we would have said, one job is enough. There are many persons out there in Gingerland who need a job. And that is why I have a plan. We in the Nevis Reformation Party have a plan to create jobs and to enhance the lives of the people. Now, Old Manor is closed under the CCM party. Old Manor is for sale. We are proposing that as your next federal government, we will move swiftly in the Nevis Reformation Party to purchase Old Manor and transform it into a business complex and skills and training center. We could do a number of things there. There could be offices there, restaurant, lounge, anything. Lots of land there. And Old Manor will be a vibrant place that people can work. We will train, we will pay residents of Gingerland and the surrounding areas to train the young people in Gingerland to get a skill. And when those young people would have gotten a skill, then they would be able to open a business. And we will partner with them and support them in their business venture so that they could grow their business and be able to create jobs. Now, there are a number of secondary roads in Gingerland. River Park, for example, Hickman's, Zion. Those roads are in a state of disrepair. I am saying, we in the NRP, when I am elected into office, come Saturday, we will start arrangements to have those roads rebuilt immediately. There's a road in Taylor's Pasture and Maynard's Ground that leads all the way to Ball Pasture, our main sporting facility. That road needs to be done immediately. And we will move forward to have that road rebuilt for the good people of Gingerland. Now, we will create a database because there are a number of persons, as I go house to house, you know what I realize? There are a number of young persons at home, unemployed. They are unemployed, and I'm sure nobody even knows they're unemployed. So that is why we will create a database. We will have staff go out door to door and look for the good people of Gingerland. Because what I would have realized while going door to door, persons in Gingerland are saying, nobody came. They would have been unemployed for many months. Their house needs repair. They have children in their house, need feeding, and nobody's coming to help them. So we will have staff going throughout the communities when I'm elected into office, visiting the good people of Gingerland, because we have to visit people to see where they're living and talk to them. You know the proud people of Nevis, they're not going to go begging or asking for anything. They want assistance, but they're not going to go to ask. But if you go and visit them, they will tell you everything. Show you their roof, where they're living and what's not. So we will have staff go out and analyze the situation. And we will build a database. We will get all the names and numbers, all the persons who need jobs. We will have all the information, need your house repair. I would have spoken to a number of single mothers. And the main thing is that they want a daycare center in Gingerland, number one. And their homes. They want their homes repaired. Many of them have their own homes, but they need assistance in repairing their homes. We will move forward with that, and we will assist. So the health center in Gingerland currently is closed as well. We will move forward and build a polyclinic, state-of-the-art medical center with a pharmacy right there where the old center is. And there we will have maybe 2 hospital rooms, a mini ambulance. So persons from Gingerland and the surrounding areas in case of emergency. They won't have to go all the way to Charlestown. They will come right there in Gingerland. We will establish a jobs club specially designed to help persons fill their resume, interview tips, job search. We will do all of that because persons need help. We, in the Nevis Reformation Party, we have a comprehensive plan. A plan designed to help create jobs and provide financial support to small businesses, entrepreneurs. We will partner with entrepreneurs and help them enhance their business. So this is just a snapshot of what I will provide in Gingerland. All of our plans in the Nevis Reformation Party.
Visionary, we are visionary.
Visionary plans. All our plans in the Nevis Reformation Party go together. That is why I'm saying to the good people of Nevis, come Friday, this week Friday, I am asking you to elect all three candidates for the Nevis Reformation Party. Elect us into office so we can work on your behalf. And we pledge to deliver jobs, 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 and more jobs immediately. So I got some voting information today. In Zion, in the Zion area, you will be voting at the Methodist Church in Zion. In the Fenton Hill and surrounding area, River Park and surrounding areas, you will be voting at the Gingerland Preschool. In the Rollins area, you will be voting at the new building right next to the Hard Times playing field. In Hanley's Road, you will be voting in the Hanley's Road Community Center. In Chickenstone and Clegot area, Meads Pasture, you will be voting in the Gingerland Secondary School. I think we have 6 polling stations. And when you go to vote, you will be voting for me, your Nevis Reformation Party candidate. You will put your X in the center of the box. As Cleon said, not touching the lines, in the center of the box. Right by the bottle, right by my name. You know my name very well, Bjorn Hanley. That is B-J-O-R-N, Hanley. So as long as you see that name, you're going to put a nice, beautiful X in the box by the bottle. And come Saturday, you would have elected for the first time in 32 long years the Nevis Reformation Party candidate, the new representative for constituency number 10, the Honorable Bjorn Hanley. How does that sound? The Honorable Bjorn Hanley. Let there be the Honorable Bjorn Hanley come Saturday morning, elected in constituency number 10 for the first time in over 30 years, in miraculous fashion. In constituency number 9, come next week, this week, Saturday, you will elect the Honorable Dr. Kelvin Daly. How does that sound as well? The Honorable Dr. Kelvin Daly. And Dr. Daly, I have a vision. Dr. Kelvin Daly will retire. He shall retire. The CCM candidate. The CCM candidate shall be retired by Dr. Kelvin Daly come Saturday morning. And you, the good people of constituency number 9, will have a new federal minister and representative, the Honorable Dr. Kelvin Daly. In constituency number 11, Saturday morning, again, you will re-elect the Honorable Patrice Nisbet again. And what is that? That is all three. That is all three. Saturday morning, I declare on the island of Nevis, let there be all three for the Nevis Reformation Party. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you very much, Bian. Thank you very much, Bian. You see how fast the horse is going on the track? It's serious business. I think he makes an important point, and I want all of us to remember the point. He says that Gingerland has had 2 representatives, one in federal and one in the local. And over the years, he has had the same person in the 2 governments since 2015 to 2017. And now you have 2 representatives. You have had 2 representatives since 2017, and yet still there is no development. So we have to thank Beyond Hanley for coming forward. Give him a round of applause. The next person to come is the man with the plan. Kelvin Daly will speak to us next, and he will give you what we call some snippets of the bread and butter tour. He has renamed the thing, you know. It's no longer house to house. It's bread and butter tour. Because as you move, as Beyond says, you're getting to know and feel what people are feeling. I have been going with him, and sometimes I say to him, he can't believe some of the conditions that people are facing. Difficulties, real difficulties. One of the ideas he has put forward is a center of excellence for skills training. And I want to appeal to all of the young people in the country. When you go to the polls on Friday morning, you're voting for skills training. When we say we're going to do it, we do it. We sent people off to Trinidad already, and we're going to do it again under the efforts of Dr. Kelvin Daly. But let me tell you something why we have to promote skills. One of the founding members of the Nevis Reformation Party, Mr. Zephaniah Roan Libod, tells me that he went to England very, very young. And he went into apprenticeship in England and became a master mechanic and welder. And you see what Roan did when he came back to Nevis? He built boats, he built the Effort, and built the Lavinia. But you know what happened? Zephaniah Roan Libod got the opportunity to learn a skill as a teenager. He told me that when he went to England, the British government says, hey, you're too young to go to work. We're going to put you in apprenticeship for a period of time. Is that not what we were doing under the Nevis Reformation Party? Cleon speaks about the inspiration. We are inspired by some of our founders, like Roan Libod. That is why when Kelvin says to you that we are going to establish a center of excellence for skills training, we know what we are saying, we know what we are doing. He was at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryan College and expanded the skills training program. We no longer have skills training. Look, brothers and sisters, breaking down the technical unit in Charlestown and breaking the one in Gingerland is not the answer. What you need is a standalone facility, technical, to focus on technical skills. Next time you go to Trinidad, or you don't have to go, Google it. The University of Trinidad and Tobago is a skills university that was established some 12, 14 years ago or more. Well, you think it's only in Trinidad they have ideas? We're not calling it the University of Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to call it the Skills Center. So I bring to speak to you the man with a track record of performance in education, in agriculture, in science and technology. Let us welcome to speak to you from the Bread and Butter Tour. And brothers and sisters, have we been touring? I have looked at the notes because I make notes, and I notice in my notebook we began this campaign of the Bread and Butter Tour on March 11, 2019. So count the months. Should he not be rewarded for 13 months of the Bread and Butter Tour? Yes, because the rest have not done it. The rest have come around with certainly just talking. But brothers and sisters, I say to you, we are working. And what we say, those who work the midnight shift must be the first to eat breakfast. So Kelvin has been working the midnight shift, so breakfast must come on Friday morning. Let us welcome him to speak to you.
Visionary, we are visionary. Never give up. 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 In this life, you can lead if you only believe. And in order to achieve what you need, you can never give up. You can never give up. And this hope that keeps me holding on. Holding on. And this hope that makes me carry on.
It's hope that keeps me hanging on. It is hope that keeps me hanging on. Without hope, we are lost. Good night, NRP people. How you feeling? How you feeling? I sense a change in the wind. I sense a change is coming. And they sense it too. And so we can expect all manner of evil to come pouring out the woodwork. But we are ready and we are blessed. And so it is time that a new government takes hold and lead us to the promised land. It is time. You know, Henry mentioned, I have forgotten the exact time we started, but being the kind of campaign manager he is, I thank God for him every day. A big brain and a big heart. He ain't got no money though, but he got a big brain and a big heart. And let me tell you something. We started in March according to my good manager. And it almost feels as if it started yesterday. Because even though we have moved so far, it feels like there's so much more to go. You know, the Chinese have a proverb. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And this step, I'm telling you that we took in March, it seems like just the first step. Because this road is long. And the road is narrow at points. And it's wide at points. And it's hilly and gully at points. But I'm telling you people, the road is leading in one direction. No matter which way it goes, whether it meanders, or it goes down or goes up, it always goes in the same direction. And that direction speaks to the empowerment of people. The grassroots of Nevis must be empowered. It is time that we recognize the poor people in this country deserve a chance. The poor people in this country deserve to be lifted up. Not just those with the big pockets, the big wallets. It is time we recognize that this society is unequal. That too many of our youth are being left out and put out and lost as if they're at sea. But you know, the blessing is, I have spoken to so many youth in St. Paul's and St. John's. And I see that little spark in their eyes when I speak to them. That they recognize that they have potential. I have brought that back into their faces. I believe in you daily. And that is what we're hearing all the time. Am I lying, Papa Paris? Am I lying, Henry Daniel? When I speak to these young people, they feel my energy. They feel my commitment to them. And they respond in kind. These are not people that easily reach or can be fooled. They have seen the worst of politicians. And believe me, they are wise. Wise in the ways of this world. And so when I tell you, when I speak to them, I speak to them as if I'm speaking to my own children. I do not cut corners. I tell them exactly as it is. And they appreciate honesty. They appreciate somebody standing up for them and knowing that that person will defend them to the end. Because we owe it to them. We have failed them in the past. We have not done right by them. And we cannot let it happen again. Because if it happens again, it means they have lost all hope that anybody cares. And it's hope that keeps us hanging on. It is hope that keeps us hanging on. And I tell you, when you go and speak to these gentlemen and these young women, they in turn inspire me. I feel their energy, and I feel that deep sense that something is coming. Something new is coming. Something new is on the horizon. But unlike Martin Luther King, who says, I have a dream, but I might not get there with you, I will get there with you. I will get there with you. And together, we'll go to the promised land. I tell you something. This bread and butter tour has been the most enjoyable but yet difficult experience of my life. It's enjoyable because you get to see in real time, in real life, the heart and soul of the young people in this country. The heart and soul of the not so young in this country. You see the challenges they face every day in and day out. And this is what gets me. Because when the premier can stand there on his pedestal and say, these young men, they do not want anything. It is painful for these young people. Because he has never spoken to them like I have spoken to them. He has never reached them in their homes. So how can he make such a judgment? That these young men are useless, are worthless. How can he be so arrogant to say that the young men of Nevis want nothing but to lime and take advantage of society. What a thing to say. What a painful thing to say. And the young people of this country who have been put down and put out by this government, they're going to send a message tomorrow, Friday. They will send a powerful message, Mr. Brantley. I hope you can take it. I hope you can take it. I hope you can take it, partner. Well, you ain't got a shadow song, boy? Keep up, keep up, keep up. I hope you can take it. I say about these people running this government, I am disappointed. I am terribly disappointed. Having gotten such as they brag about, all of these hundreds of millions, how many youth have been empowered? How many youth have been empowered by this $250 million bounty given as a fair share deal? Where has it gone? Many persons have tried to calculate from what the Premier himself has presented, and you're still short by tens of millions. Tens of millions have been unaccounted for. And I said to the youth of this country, if I had 1/10 of that money, your lives would be better. Because we are so busy not helping them rather than helping them. Not investing in them and investing in other people who don't need it. I'm telling you, this country is sitting on a gold mine of youth power to be unleashed with the right circumstance by the right people. And I'm saying to the young people in this country, you have seen what they have done to you. I'm saying, send me. Send me. And I'm telling you people, my record of empowering our people is long and deep. My record of empowering our young people is long and deep. And it will get deeper come Saturday morning. I'm telling you, I can sense a change on the wind. And the good thing about it, they sense it too. Because they're now scrambling. They're now scrambling to do things they have ignored doing for the last 5 years. They've put now a new blacktop at the basketball court in Bath. Brand new blacktop at the playfield, the basketball court in Bath. That has been there languishing for over 5 years. And overnight, they found the tarmac. They found the asphalt and the roller. Pressure! Bus pipe. Up in Brown Pasture, the gazebo that Hansel Daniel built was deteriorating. If you stand on the floor, you feel like you're going through the floor. For 5 years, it languished. Complaint after complaint. All of a sudden, timber shows up and plywood shows up and a new floor is in. Pressure. Bus pipe every time. Now I'm hearing belatedly that the Premier is offering scholarships to anywhere in the world courtesy of the NIA. He says, if you want to go to Morocco, you can go to Morocco. Courtesy of the NIA. Where was this man 5 years ago when the NRP was talking about the freedom to travel and educate yourself wherever you wanted. Pressure bus pipe. I'm telling you, we are accomplishing more in opposition than they are doing in government. We are accomplishing more in opposition than they are doing in the government. Could you imagine if we were in government? Imagine if we were in government. I'm telling you, the problems we're facing now will not exist. Those parents who are struggling to figure out how they're going to pay for the children's education will be in the past. Those persons worn down by VAT and taxes will have gotten relief. I'm telling you, this system is broken and unbalanced, and it favors the rich and the well-connected. It does not favor the poor masses of this country. And I ain't gonna fix it. Patrice is gonna fix it. Beyond gonna fix it. Send us to sink it, and we will fix it.
Give them the pressure. 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 When let them feel the weight.
So all this talk, all of this plywood showing up from out of the sky, all this plyboard and 2x4 and tiles and paint will not change it. It will not change the outcome. All the money they're passing will not change this outcome because the people in this country are fed up.
Give them the pressure. Give them the pressure. Give them the pressure. Give them the pressure. When let them feel the weight.
They're going to feel me weight. They're going to feel Patrice, the two of you boning together. But we're going to put the two of you on them and Beyond going to sit on the head. Beyond going to put in the weight on the head. I going to sit in the middle and Patrick going to sit on the foot.
Listen, man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you people, this election on Friday, again, is the most important there is. Because from the launch we had with Cleon and the momentum from Cleon in March 5th of this year, now to this federal election and then to the local election in 2 years, we're going to take them on.
Give them the pressure. Give them the pressure. Give them the pressure. Give them the pressure. When let them feel the weight.
That is why they are so afraid. That is why they're scared to death. They don't want to lose to NRP a second time in a row, and so expect the worst from them. And so rather than come with programs and plans to compare and contrast to the manifesto of the NRP, what they're doing, bringing some old stupid files about Daly and Patrice and Hector. Bring your plans to the people. Show them what you're going to do. Show them how we can get out of this wilderness. Instead, they're talking about some stupidness.
Give them the pressure.
Who cares? Who really cares? Who cares at this point in time in our development? People are losing their work. People stand the chance of losing their homes, losing their businesses, and this nincompoop talking about stupidness.
Same old story. Dear promises.
Same old playbook. Dig up some old stupidness and try to leave his people and say, deal with that because I can't show you the real program I have because I have none. No plan. No plan. We have put out an entire manifesto. Go on NRP's webpage and see it. And I invite the premier, photocopy it, print it, study it, because you cannot duplicate it. You cannot duplicate it. So we are never afraid to publish what we have, because we are the first. Anybody comes afterwards, a second. And who remembers second? Not a soul. They have such fear. Such fear. You see them spinning all sorts of yarns, all sorts of stories. Yet, they cannot deliver on their plans. Cannot deliver on their plans because they have none. I wonder sometimes. You have a whole cabinet. 5 people every day sit in a cabinet. You have all sorts of advisors and hangers-on. Hangers-on. And you know who they are? Because they're the biggest defenders of failure.
That now go up.
They are the biggest defenders of failure. I've always told you people, when you see people defending, follow the money. Follow the money. And you see who is the mouth open under the pot. They're the ones defending. And they come to you and say, you know, keep the momentum. They're talking about keeping it for themselves. The whole body in the trough. And we must understand. When this man sugar cake or bacon cake or whatever his name is, come with the money, take it because it's your money. Where's the money come from? It's your money. Don't feel no way about it. They're giving you back your money. I would, yes, my good friend Cleon said, pray over the money and take it. God bless me, forgive me, and take the money. Because it's your money. When they give back your money, there's no crime in that. If they want to give back your money, take your money back. And I said to people, take the money and still vote them out. Because we are in such a crisis in this country. A crisis not only of economics, but of confidence and trust and hope. We are in that kind of crisis of confidence, trust, and hope. Where people have lost all sense of belonging. People are scared to death. What tomorrow holds. By the end of June next year, or this year, sorry, end of June, the moratorium offered by the banks for reprieve on your mortgages ends. What next? What next? How many of those homes will go under the auction block because our government has not provided a plan to rescue people who have put their whole life in their properties? Are we going to allow this to happen? If you allow this to happen, we're just as complicit as the guys who are doing it. I said to you, stop this nonsense from happening. Send us all to Bastille. Let us go there and fight on your behalf. Because clearly, this government here is not doing it for you. They're busy lining their pockets, getting rich off of us, and we're not holding them to account. It is time we hold them to account. It is time we demand better.
Is your name written there in prosperity book of life? Make your mark.
When you look around this country at all of the unfinished projects, all of them, I can start over there at the Newcastle Police Station, coming to Wally Pier, coming to Charlestown, the Treasury Building. I can go to the Mondo Track. I can go up to the hospital. Name one that's finished. $250 million later, and not one finished. What record is this to run on? Unfinished. Never had a plan. It's all chaotic. I've come up with a community plan. I've called it the St. John's Community Redevelopment Plan, which targets certain aspects of our development. Where's their plan? I have a plan for housing. I have a plan for industry. I have a plan for entrepreneurship. I have a plan for education. I have a plan for healthcare. I have a plan for food development. Where is their plan? Where's their plan?
My God.
And this government here sits every week and collects money from off our backs. They collect it day in and day out and produce nothing. We must hold them to account. We must hold them to account, and come Friday, that X must mean something. You can't bang them any other how. The Constitution provides that X for you to say X them out. Put your X for Kelvin Dale in Nevis 9.
Show me your hand if you're voting for Barry and NRP.
Put your X for Beyond Hanley in Nevis 10. And put your X for the Honorable Patrice Nisbet in Nevis 11. You know, Zook Jeffers have been getting a free ride. He's been skating under the radar by remaining quiet. But let me tell you something. The people of St. James and St. Thomas's, he's not skating by. Because they know of the man. He likes to say he's big and bad. I can use other adjectives to describe him, but I might end up in court. Because I remember when E.O. Belter Hector was building a little caboose up there in Marion Avenue, that same minister had all to say. Now look at that mansion he's building up down the hill. 3-car garage, indoor theater, swimming pool, all kind of things. I went in the house. It's my taxpayers' money pay for that. And you have another minister building over so. I don't sure he can go in there. But he's building over there. Not sure. But I'm telling you, when a minister sits at a chairman of a board and gives himself an allowance of $2,500 a month, and nobody says anything. Not the premier. Nobody says, mister, you're going wrong. This is inconsistent with our democracy. He's not corrected because you know what? The fish stinks from the top, from the head. And so when the underlings are thieving, the head can't stop them because the head thieving too. You remember that case that I know I'm a member of, the injunction case for the 2015 boundaries. I said it last time when I was here. And people don't recognize or understand that Daniel Brandt and Associates collected $1.5 million.
Listen me.
To adjudicate that matter to the Privy Council. Paid in full. Paid in full. And so when people talking, and they're talking about Patrice's salary, you get a check for $1.5 million, and you're talking about a little salary Patrice, get a little allowance. You know what I mean? They think people forget. They speak and forget they speak. They write and they forget they write. And so these words are coming back to haunt them. So now the premier is saying he don't want the boundary to change for 2015, for 2020. It is good where it is. He don't want it to change right now. But in 2009, he said the same boundary was unconstitutional, was too unwieldy. But all of a sudden, what was wrong is not right. The same argument he made that said he did not know about the petition that Zook pulled against Patrice. He said he didn't know nothing about it. He did not sign it. This is what he said. But you see, when you develop this pathological lying, it consumes you because you can't remember if you lied about it before or you're not lying now. You can't remember if you lied yesterday or you lied today. And that is their problem. They lie so much, they forget they're lying to themselves.
My God.
And so I said to you, if I want to tell you that if you can handle the truth, if you can handle me telling you the truth, then you have somebody who should send to Parliament. If you want somebody to lie to you, send Brantley. If you want somebody to deceive you, send Brantley. If you want somebody not to represent you, send Brantley. If you want somebody to show up in blue socks and blue shoes, send him. But if you want somebody to represent you substantively, if you want somebody to go to the mat for you and defend you and protect you, send me. Send me. Because me ain't mixing and matching. I'm going to tell you the unadulterated truth. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to lift you up. Because in lifting you up, I am also lifted up. The joy I get from seeing people lifted up gives me joy. I'm not selfish about it. I don't like to see people suffer. Some people like to have their feet on your neck. I don't like that. I see no point of it. Because if you are in division or you're a resident, we should be lifting each other up. But this government here sees life differently. They lift themselves up and leave the people down. They leave the people down. The evidence is there. Show me one house Brantley built in St. John's and St. Paul's for poor people. Not one. It's amazing. Show me one business he has built in St. Paul's and St. John's for poor people. Not one. So how can you love poor people when you don't do anything to lift them up? And the only thing you have done is to give them a loan from the SID, from the SEDU, and ask them to pay 20%. Ask them to pay 20% at 4% interest. People over 35 like me can't qualify. So how is that lifting poor people up? That's just putting poor people down. And let me tell you something, people. You need to put aside this partisan tribal politics and recognize for once in your lives that is an alternative being offered to you on a silver platter. Take it. I am there for you, day in and day out. Take it. Take it. Do not allow this government to continue to use you and abuse you, to pull you down and put you down, to step on your neck every chance they get, to deny your children the most basic of amenities. Imagine that. And all they do is talk and talk and talk some more. The talking must end come Friday. The talking must end come Friday. Let the people stop them from talking anymore. And let me tell you something. Come Saturday, we will be back here. We will be back here.
Show me your hand if you're voting. For Barry and NRP, we voting. We voting for NRP, the Performance Party. CCM, them a commanding.
We'll be back here because I'm convinced. I'm really convinced, brothers and sisters. I'm really convinced that we have done enough to show the Nevis people the difference between them and us. The difference between me and him. The difference between Bjorn and that walk-up fella. The difference between Patrice Nisbet and that monkey banquet fella. I'm telling you, change is in the wind. And in about 36 hours, I am telling you, this country is in for change. And it's a change that's overdue. And this change that's irreversible. And I said to you all, come out early on Friday. Come out strong on Friday. Do not be distracted on Friday. Make sure you eat well on Friday. Make sure you have your IDs on Friday. And I'm telling you, the victory will be ours. Good night and God bless you.
Yo! Leave this! Tell them who can handle, just leave this! Hey! I'm just show me your hand if you're voting for Barry and NRP.
Patrice Nisbet has a plan to create hundreds of jobs for the people of Nevis 11 and the island of Nevis. These plans include the establishment of a state-of-the-art fisheries complex in Nevis 11 with FDA HACCP rating, which will allow the island to export its plentiful seafood and seafood products. He also intends to revitalize the Newcastle airport, which will include the establishment of a fixed base operation, which will stimulate a myriad of opportunities with the creation of an aviation academy, aviation-related services, VIP and concierge services and restaurants. Creative entrepreneurs will also be provided support to establish new businesses in a revitalized Nevis 11. Vote for new jobs. Vote for Patrice Nisbet. In 2014, after 27 years of independence, Patrice Nisbet was given the opportunity as Minister of Labour to enact long service gratuity legislation, which would finally protect vulnerable hospitality and manufacturing industry workers, who often found themselves financially helpless and exposed in retirement after rendering decades of service to their employers. Vote for a representative who cares. Vote for the NRP's Patrice Nisbet.
My responsibility was in charge of all the food and beverage service at Nisbet Plantation, and I did that for 28 years. I resigned from Nisbet Plantation in 2017, and I was very grateful.
I tell you why, brothers and sisters, we go on the bread and butter tour in St. John's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've been doing that, as I said, since March 11. On Tuesdays, we go after he finish a program on freedom. On Thursday, when we finish the bread and butter tour, he goes to tell me. On Saturdays, he goes on target. And so, he has been working. And as I say, those who work the midnight shift must be the first to eat breakfast. Brothers and sisters, we want now, you hear the discussion going on in the country. We want a new kind of mind, as Shortshot says, in a new and better society. So when we send Patrice to St. Kitts this time, he is going to do for us what we were doing in the government. Outline the legislative agenda. And the first thing on the legislative agenda, we want to make sure that he is going to put into law a clear and concise approach to ensure whichever government is in power, Nevis get 26, 28, 30% of all monies obtained on the SIDF. Do you agree with me? We have to read it into law now, because the Constitution cannot be left to the whims and fancies of politicians. When we conceptualized the Constitution in 1983, it was presumed that people would take the ethical high ground on matters. So that Mr. Perry and Mr. Sir Simeon Daniel and Ivor Stevens, they decided to take one salary, even though the Constitution says that they can take two. So what we want now is a different kind of person who is driven by a higher order of thinking, different kinds of ethics, and different kinds of values. So to argue that because the Constitution says you must get 2 salaries, that you take it. Of course, the lawyers can tell you there is the letter of the law and there is the spirit of the law. And so when we send Patrice back to St. Kitts, we want legislation for the PEP, STEP, whatever you call it. And we want to clearly legislate what Nevis portion will be. So whether it is NRP or CCM or whoever is in power, Nevis people. You notice Kelvin speaks about the need to rise above tribal politics. We have always done that in the Nevis Reformation Party. But I want to say to the Nevisians, when you go to the polls on Friday morning, leave your bad mind at home. It is creating too much problem in the country. Leave your bad mind home, and as Cleon says, think national pride, think country above self, think about economic development, think about the status of children and young people. Leave the bad mind home. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Patrice and I joined the Nevis Reformation Party 20 years ago. And when we joined 20 years ago and became platform speakers with 11 days notice, the people then said that we were too young. So we then argued, and you could see, we then said, it's not age that run things, it's ideas run things. And so we put our ideas together to bring the Nevis Reformation Party together. And as we look at how the party has evolved, we see that we engage people who are young. And so, brothers and sisters, it's a good thing to be a teacher sometimes, you know. It's always good to be a teacher. I used to teach him at Charlestown Secondary School many years ago. I wouldn't say what year because that would say how old we are, you know. I wouldn't say that. That's not for public consumption. So, brothers and sisters, the pleasure is mine to invite to speak to you our federal representative, the Honorable Patrice Nisbet.
Confident in I Jaja, confident in I Jaja, confident in I confident in I Jaja, boy and I go make with suffer, enemies try them up it, scatter and batter and flatter. Protect my people, Jah. No make them get caught in the crossfire. Protect the nation, Jah. Cause we no want me no land to no slaughter. Protect the people, Jah. A Babylon start this wildfire. Protect the nation, Jah. Protect the nation, Jah.
This is the voice of the Nevis Reformation Party. This is the voice of the party that has stood with the people of Nevis. This is the voice of the party. The voice of the party that has brought the most progress to the people of Nevis. And so, my dear people of Nevis, my dear people of Nevis 11, we are here tonight. We are here tonight on the eve of a general elections. We are here tonight as we have done each and every night on this campaign. We have brought you the message, and it has been a message of hope and assurance. It has been a message of deep expectation for the people. And so, my dear people, For the last 5 years, we have been in the opposition. We have been in the wilderness here on the island of Nevis. And of course, the Nevis Reformation Party has kept the government accountable for the last 5 years. We have been able to hold the government feet to the fire. And so, my dear people, you have to look to the performance or lack thereof of the government in the last 5 years. You have to look to their report card and see whether you can actually grade them in these elections. These elections are not about how much money you have. These elections are not about how much money the political party has. These elections are about how the people of Nevis will survive and sustain themselves for the next 5 years. Whether policies and programs will be put in place so as to ensure you, your children, the elderly, your neighbor is able to survive in this country. And so, my dear people, my dear soldiers of the Nevis Reformation Party, I have told you, we are on a journey. We are on a journey to save the soul of the people of Nevis. We are on a journey to save the island of Nevis from the hands of Mark Brantley and those in the CCM cabal. And so, good people of Nevis 11, you have stood with me for the last 2 decades. You have stood with the NRP from since the creation of NRP. And so, my dear people of Nevis 11, I need your help. I need your support. I need your votes in helping the NRP deliver Nevis 11. And so, I ask you tonight, are you voting for NRP on Friday? Are you, good people of Nevis 11, are you sticking with NRP? And so, my dear people, if you stick with the NRP, we will continue the partnership that we have started 20 years ago. It has been a partnership of deliverance. It's been a partnership of progress, development, and growth in this constituency. And so, my dear people, if you want a restoration, of the one-to-one laptop program, I say to you, you have to stick with the NRP. If you want a restoration of the REACH program, that important scholarship program that brought relief to low and middle income families in Nevis, you have to stick with the NRP. You know, I was house-to-house campaigning this afternoon in Maddens. And I met a young lady, and she's telling me she still has her computer. And ever so often, she utilized that computer to assist her in preparing for for her job that she has now. And you know what she's telling me? I want that program come back. And so, my dear people, the only way that program will return, the only way a one-to-one laptop program will be back in this country is if NRP goes in the government on Friday. My dear people, you all know what is happening now. As a result of the pandemic, our children are not receiving any educational instructions. Do you know why that is so? All they can have is every day, they have all kinds of briefing on the Zoom or wherever and whatever platform. But up to now, our children cannot return to school. You know why? Because this bad-minded CCM administration took away the laptops from the children. And so, my dear people, you must understand that elections have consequences. Elections have consequences. And you must be told that a vote for Mark Brantley, a vote for Alexis Jeffers, is a vote to take away a computer from your child. And I want to know which reasonable parent is going to vote in these elections to deny their children their benefit that they should be entitled to. And so, people, supporters and Nivisions, I say to you tonight, you must understand the issues. You must appreciate how important your vote is. And some of you might be disillusioned. You might be disheartened. You might say you don't want to vote. You might say that all politicians are the same. But I want to tell you tonight that some politicians are cut from a different cloth. Cut from a different cloth. And I want to say to you that if you want to effect meaningful change, you must understand that your vote can make a difference. And so I want to urge all, because this is an important election. And so I want you to go out in your numbers. They're going to wine and dine you. They're going to offer you $500, $1,000. But those monies will burn up, so to speak. $100, $500, that can be finished in minutes. And so, my dear people, what the Nevis Reformation Party is offering you is opportunities. That is what we are offering you. Opportunities that will last you a lifetime. Not opportunities that is just for the moment. Because when people pay you to vote, all they're doing is that they're just using you. Because when you go and you see Mark Brantley, after the elections, all he's going to tell you is that I already paid you. And then, when the next election, he's going to come around and say, I want to pay you again. And that is using you. And so I say to you this evening, you have to use your vote as a weapon. Your vote is important. And I would want you to ensure that you vote wisely. Because the Nevis Reformation Party, we have demonstrated in Bastia that we can bring the most federal programs to Nevis. And these are programs. These are programs that have benefited all and sundry. Everybody, women, children, elderly, those programs have benefited all. Because when we increased the minimum wage, everybody who worked in the country got an increase. When we gave you the long service gratuity, all the hotel workers in Nevis benefited under that program. And so, my dear people, we brought a number of initiatives to assess the growth and the development of the small business sector. You all know about the seed, the reach, the seed and the safe programs, and the wise. These were programs that assisted the development and the growth of the small business sector in Nevis. People, you all remember, between 2010 and 2015, people used to say, things are run good. Country are run good. Money are back. Nowadays, you see a disappearance of the small businesses from the landscape in Nevis. Some people sit in their store in Charlestown for a whole day and they not even make $5. That is the state of the economy in Nevis under Mark Brantley. And Mark Brantley has the audacity to call people incompetent. A man who a prime minister came to Nevis and said he squandered $200 million. Mark Brantley is in St. Kitts tonight on a stage with Timothy Harris. After Timothy Harris say he is a man, when you give money, all he do is squander it. And imagine Harris say again, you know what Harris say about him and about them? He said not one of them can hold a candle of correction to him. So what you have in Bastia, all you have done there now is a man dancing. Dancing. The people of Nevis deserve more than walk up. The people of Nevis deserve the ideas that Beyond Hanley has for the development of Nevis 10. But you know, they are a set of hypocrites. Hypocrites. They have made such public pronouncements against each other. Publicly. And now they want people to believe that they are all cozy and happy. One happy family. They used to say family. Can't say so now. And so, my dear people in the NRP, we have remained true to our oath. Our oath has always been to look after the best interests of the people of Nevis. That is what the Nevis Reformation Party represents. And so, my people, elections and voting, they are about trust. They're about trust. And if you can't trust a man, well, how can you vote for him? And you know why I say that? Mark Brantley said he does not know about the petition. The petition that was placed in the newspaper by Alexis Jeffers against me. He said he don't know about it. He was on the platform when they were reading out the petition. He gave speeches about that petition. And when he was asked on one radio about the petition, he said he don't know about it. And I say to you tonight, if you can't trust a man to tell the truth on such a simple matter, can you trust him to be in the government, ladies and gentlemen? And so, I also want to say to you that the man who led the petition against me, you know what he was saying in 2012? He was saying in 2012, I had to choose between St. Kitts and Nevis. That's what he was saying. He was saying the election of Patrice Nisbet was bad for democracy. He said, if you put too much power in one man's hand, it's a dangerous thing. And then he says that power corrupts and power corrupts absolutely. See what he was saying? He was
elected in the local assembly and elected in the federal assembly or federal government. That's 2 jobs, requires 2 pay. I want my money for the work that I intend to do. I'm not going to work for free for anyone.
Are you hear him?
If I'm elected in the local assembly and elected in the federal assembly or federal government, that's 2 jobs, requires 2 pay. I want my money for the work that I intend to do. I'm not going to work for free for anyone.
That now go up.
Well, you all see what he's about? Are you see what he's about? Well, let's say he got big house to pay for. And so, ladies and gentlemen, he is not interested in working for you. He is interested in going to Bastia and getting a salary. And so, my dear people, he was saying that you have to stop Patrice Nisbet in order to have free and fair elections. And so, my dear people, I want to ask today, what is the difference? He now has come to you and say, you must send him to Bastia, when he was campaigning and saying it is a bad idea to send me there at that particular time. So what is the difference, ladies and gentlemen? What is the difference in terms of the factual matrix? The facts are the same. And so, if a man lied to you, because he lied to you, he never believed in the petition. It was all about politics. And so, he sought to deceive the people of Nevis 11. And so, people of Nevis 11, if you can't trust this man, if you can't trust him, how are you going to give him greater responsibility? And so, people of Nevis 11, we have accomplished a lot together. We have a number of achievements that we have earned together. And we need to build on those achievements. We need to continue to work on those achievements because we have greater plans. We have greater plans for the transformation of Nevis 11. And so, my dear people, for those plans to become a reality, you have to work with me. You have to campaign with me. You have to keep your eyes and your ears open over the next couple of hours.
Cover all his, cover all his.
Because you know, all kind of trickery coming out. All kind of things going to happen. But I believe, and I've always believed in the people of Nevis 11, you are going to stay sure and steadfast.
Cover all his, NRP, oh yes, we got them covered.
Sure and steadfast with the Nevis Reformation Party. We believe in you. We believe in your strength. We believe in your loyalty. And most importantly, we believe in your support. And so my people, my dear people of St. Thomas's, I believe that I have been able to demonstrate to you for the last 20 years that the trust and the confidence you have placed in me has been well placed. And so, my dear people, can I count on you on Friday? Can I count on you on Friday?
Cover all ends, NRP, oh yes, we got them covered.
Can I count on you to send me home? Send me back.
NRP, cover all ends, cover all ends, cover all ends, cover all ends. NRP, cover all ends, cover all ends. NRP, cover all ends, cover all ends.
Can I count on you to send me back to Bastia? My dear people, good people of Nevis 11, St. Thomas's and St. James, I ask you to send back your humble servant to Bastia, because you can say, well done, thy good and faithful servant. Enter back into the house in Bastia. And the only way Alexis Jeffers is going to Bastia is if he pay the boat and go. Good night and God bless.
Visionary, we are visionary. Visionary, we are visionary. Visionary, we are visionary. And I'll be ready to transform Nevis.
Thank you very much, Patrice. I never know all them places there you could go past there. Some people going on the ferry, some going on the water taxi, and some going Parliament, and some going Port Zante, and ting. But we are going to send our man to Church Street where the Parliament is. Are you with me? We are going to send our man to Parliament. And so, brothers and sisters, the night is fast spent, but we have not been treated with the words of encouragement, and as Sister Cleone will say, the words of inspiration. And so we are going to invite E. Roberto Hector, who has the record of building the most homes as a housing minister anywhere in the OECS. We are going to invite him as the party's leader to bring the curtains down on tonight's activity. Brothers and sisters, we have diverse groups, we have diverse talents, we have diverse capacities. And what we have done in the Nevis Reformation Party is to harness all of our talents. So whether the talent is from Charlestown, St. John's, Gingerland, St. James, or St. Thomas's, we are the Nevis Reformation Party. We We are committed to the ideas and ideals which bring peace, progress, and prosperity. We are committed to ensuring that we carry on the values and ethics of our founding members. And so, brothers and sisters, we invite the party's leader, Mr. Hector.
Visionary, we are visionary. Back her up, but the victory sweet. Back her up, but the victory sweet. So I believe them can't stop me now. After all the things that I've been through, them can't stop me now. Yes, I've lost some friends that meant no good. Can't stop me now. Oh, can't stop me now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel, Chairman, for this evening's program. I want to say to each and every one of you who are here this evening, you have heard the cases from our candidates. I want you to understand that each one of those persons that came before you tonight, they are answering a call for service. They are answering a call to service on your behalf. Starting with the first speaker, you had the testimony this evening of someone who has joined the team and who is proud to say she's a product of the Nevis Reformation Party. You know, as she spoke to us, I had the opportunity to glance across on the other side. And it's sad to see that each and every one of them over there were the creation of the Nevis Reformation Party. And today, this is why I said to you last night, we have to kneel in prayer and we have to ask for God's guidance and assurance on this election on Friday. Because too often you are seeing those who the NRP party has given a chance in life. Today, they are on the other side and seeking in every way to destroy the party that made them. And so tonight, each and every one of you, I want to say, it's a time in your life when you would have to do one for your country. And in doing one for your country, you have to put aside the simple and easy comfort of a day's pay by a politician. I want you to understand that the choice that you are making in this election is the choice for you. It is the choice for your children. It is the choice for the future of this country. Each and every one of the speakers this evening showed you that we can demonstrate to the world that the vision is with the Nevis Reformation Party.
I make you do it like way. I make you do it like way. I make you do it like way.
Each and every time we have come before you in an election, as a party we have given you clear choices in terms of the development of this country. I say to you, the country as it stands, as you heard from Dr. Daly, from beyond, and from Patrice, with your naked eyes, you can see. With your hands, you can touch, and you can understand the state that this country is in. And you need an operation rescue at this time to take the country forward. I am saying to you, Nevisians, nationals, those who are living here, you would realize that those on the other side have not said to you what their vision is for this country. Our children right now are not in school. Our businesses are suffering. The promises that were given to you some time ago to remove the surcharge is still upon you and crippling you. In every way, when you look at this country, you recognize that in the last 5 years,
this country has been taken backwards. Time and time again, as Nivisians, we are to understand that we are to put this country first.
Performance matters.
We are to rally with a party that understands the vision that you, the Nivisians, need and the vision that you would want to follow. And truly, last night I spoke about for the great things, and tonight they were repeated by the candidates. Let us open the south side of the island. Let us move forward. Let us see development in Bath. Let us allow single mothers. Let us allow young people to hold that opportunity of making that investment of a lifetime of owning a home. And we are doing it through a new and innovative way of having you rent to own your property. And so tonight, I say to you, you have heard the case from every one of the candidates. I can only ask you to vote for those three candidates and give your support wholeheartedly to the Nevis Reformation Party. Good night. I offer you peace, progress, and prosperity. The NRP party is the best party to transform this little country called Nevis. Good night and farewell.
Performance matters. Performance count.
Thank you very much, brothers and sisters, for coming out. Bring your friends tomorrow, and we are on the final leg tomorrow. One more meeting, and then it's voting. You can vote, remember, if you don't have your voter's ID, you can vote with your social security card, you can vote with your driver's license, and you can vote with your passport. So don't let anybody tell you, oh, you don't have your ID. Whatever the situation, there are 4 pieces of ID available to you. Your voter identification card, your passport, your driver's license, and your social security card. So thank you very much, and all the best. See you tomorrow. God bless.
Come my people, come on, yeah. Come my people, come on, get around everybody, come on, yeah. And let me tell you about the visions of NRP. Visionary, we are visionary. Visionary, we are visionary. Come my people, come on, get around everybody, come on, yeah. And let me tell you about the visions of NRP. Visionary, we are visionary. NRP ready to transform Nevis. Ready to transform Nevis. And let me start out with the transformation of healthcare, universal health insurance, free university education and training for nurses and doctors. What about the farmer them, the fishermen too, the builders and the contractors who want state-of-the-art equipment like big trucks and boats with engines and tractors? Warm to the people who are driving vehicle, taxi drivers and busmen. It's all in the plan with transformation, duty-free and all transportation, concessions and training to attract more locals in their profession.
NRP's Patrice Nisbet has a plan to create hundreds of jobs for the people of Nevis 11 and the island of Nevis. These plans include the establishment of a state-of-the-art fisheries complex in Nevis 11 with FDA HACCP rating, which will allow the island to export its plentiful seafood and seafood products. He also intends to revitalize the Newcastle Airport, which will include the establishment of a fixed base operation, which will stimulate a myriad of opportunities with the creation of an aviation academy, aviation-related services, VIP and concierge services and restaurants. Creative entrepreneurs will also be provided support to establish new businesses in a revitalized Nevis 11. Vote for new jobs. Vote for Patrice Nisbet. In 2014, after 27 years of independence, Patrice Nisbet was given the opportunity as Minister of Labour to enact long service gratuity legislation, which would finally protect vulnerable hospitality and manufacturing industry workers, who often found themselves financially helpless and exposed in retirement after rendering decades of service to their employers. Vote for a representative who cares. Vote for the NRP's Patrice Nisbet.
My responsibility was in charge of all the food and beverage service at Nisbet Plantation, and I did that for 28 years. I resigned from Nisbet Plantation in 2017, and I was very grateful, very grateful for the Honorable Patrice Nisbet, who was the Minister of Labour in the Federal Administration in St. Kitts Nevis, put in place the long service gratuity. So when I resigned, I was grateful that I get 1 year payment for my service, for my time spent at Nisbet Plantation.
Hi, I'm Beyond Hanley, and I am your Nevis Reformation Party candidate for constituency number 10, Gingerland. I am a holder of a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Business and Management, and also the founder and CEO of a small media company, BHC Media. Previous to that, I spent some years in England studying and gaining experience, and thus this is why I decided to put myself forward so that I can implement a number of plans and programs for the good people of Gingerland. So, in order to deliver the number of plans and programs, I am asking you, the good people of Gingerland, to please vote for me so that together we can enhance the lives of the people. Once you elect me into office, I will work closely with local entrepreneurs, small businesses, and local investors in order to deliver jobs, and more jobs.
NRP Vision. NRP, ready to transform Nevis. Vote NRP.